Hello out there, vinyl community. I hope you're having a good week. I'm back with another video here, and I'm going to share my thoughts about the new, I think it's coming out this month, the new Revolver Deluxe Edition or Super Deluxe, or there seems to be various editions that you can pick up. And just wanted to talk about that and share my thoughts about it. First of all, a little background. I just thought that when I first had Revolver, I had a couple of different copies of it. I had the UK version at one time when I was very, very young, and those years have gone by quickly. And then I had the copy that I bought, US copy, the purple label capital Revolver, and which I leaned to play that one the most. Now, those Beatle records that were on the purple capital label, they sounded really good, and I really did enjoy them. And another thing is, I'm not a Beatles channel, but I'm not saying that's bad to be one either. But I do like the Beatles. They're probably my third, maybe fourth favorite group of all time. And from time to time, I do pick up things of them. Like not too long ago, I got on vinyl Beatles #1. I have Help on Blu-ray. I think I have the a collector's edition of A Hard Day's Night. So, you know, I'm not a really, really super fan, but I do love the music of the Beatles. Was a time, you know, when you're going through rough times as a young man, listening to some Beatle music helped you to go through those rough times. Revolver, I am looking forward to coming out, as I mentioned. The ones that I always get, I don't get all of these big super deluxe editions, because sometimes they're just really out of my price range, and I don't want to trade a bunch of stuff for one. I still have my sealed copy of the Beatles White Album, the one with the Escher demos. I haven't still opened that up, and I have had that since it came out. One of the other cool things too that I picked up too was I got the advertisement board for the Let It Be. The record store that I shop at gave it to me for free, and you might see it from time to time in some of my videos in the background. I think that album, Let It Be, is becoming my second favorite Beatles album of all time. But back to Revolver. In the past, I've had CDs, or whatever you want to call them, Spanish, Italian imports, you know what I mean? Or bootleg, can you say that okay without getting a strike? But I've had like double disc of various takes from Revolver, Rubber Soul, White Album. I think a long time ago one of these labels put out like a mono version. I think it was Yellow Dog, if anybody remembers that label. Let me know in the comments. But made a copy of the White Album on from the mono. I think that what they did was they took it straight from the LP, or I don't know what the source was, but I liked it. I really did enjoy it. And anyway, I'm getting a little bit sidetracked, so I don't mean to do that, but you know, I am winging this. I didn't write no script or anything like this, but I am, like I said, I am looking forward to the Revolver. I love everything about this album. One of the albums that I first heard, what I consider, my opinion, like a psychedelic track, and I think we all know which one I'm going to talk about, is Tomorrow Never Knows. I never, at that time when I heard it when I was really young, I never heard anything too much like that. Kind of makes me think that sometimes those were the stepping stones to my favorite genre, which is prog rock. But usually when these come out, I usually get either, if it's a double LP, I'll get that. But this time, I think I'm just going to get, when it is released, I'm probably going to get the double CD, as well as if there's, like, I think there's a Giles Martin and Samuel Keel, if I've said that name correctly. They'll have like a version of it that you can buy as an individual. And if that's true, almost likely we'll get that version. And I'll be content with that, because honestly, I'm not saying that's bad, but I don't need 100 takes of She Said, She Said. I think 2 or 3 is great enough, or even 1. I get it. Those are fun to listen to, but honestly, I don't have the time, and I don't really think I'm going to go listen to a bunch of that bonus stuff on all those many, 5 CD sets, or however big they make them. But so that's the versions that I usually go with. And another reason is they're in my budget. Now, if one comes up, use one of these other, then I might consider getting it or trading for it, which I do from time to time. But I do love the album Revolver. For the longest time when I was younger, it was my favorite Beatles album of all time. I always went to Revolver. I like hearing the tracks. It's an album where the Beatles branched out and used a lot more of musical ideas from wherever they were getting them from. They were, leaning towards there's some classical side to it. There's the real pop, happy tune of Good Day, Sunshine. I love the rocking edge of She Said, She Said. And I've heard the band Los Lobos do a version of that, and it sounded good. Taxman, which some killer guitar work. So let me just share real quick. I won't read every one of them, but my personal favorites from Revolver. Taxman. I love the strings and Eleanor Rigby. I think it's one of the best songs. I've always thought it as a really pop short story song. I mean, it's really good. I'm Only Sleeping. I love the backwards guitar playing on that track. And George Harrison with the Love You Too. I think it's a fantastic song. I said that one already. She said, another one. And I really like this song when I used to have, I still do, Yesterday and Today. And Your Bird Can Sing. I think that guitar line is just one of the most rocking guitar riffs that the Beatles came up with. I love Dr. Robert. Got to Get You Into My Life, which was really weird. I think years ago, later on, I don't know if it was the 80s. I don't quite remember. I remember them releasing, I think, a single for Got to Get You Into My Life with, was it Helter Skelter? What? It was a single, and I think it was released because they were coming out with possibly the rock and roll music compilation. I don't remember. Tomorrow Never Knows is just such a song that I could just see all of the bands to come being inspired by that song. I think even Phil Collins does it. But out of the songs that I mentioned, I would say that my all-time favorite track is the Paul McCartney track, Eleanor Rigby. That's my all-time favorite on Revolver. I never get tired of hearing that. Now, he's my favorite Beatle, is Paul McCartney. And I also get his, McCartney archive collection. I usually go for the double LPs. I never got one of those really big CD sets. And so, and like this one right here, this copy right here that I have that I'm showing, sounds really great. Years ago, I got the box set. And it has a little tape action over here on the side, which it does not bother me. Everything's still really good and intact. But I love this box set. I remember when I first got it years ago when I was in high school and I had my first job and I worked hard to get one of these. But now I got this one back again in my collection. And I paid, they gave me a great deal on this, one of the record stores. I sold it to me for $80. Yeah, and the records are in very good shape. I've seen people, I've been a witness to where somebody will come in and want to sell the records from here. And which kind of surprises me. I wonder, like, what happened to the box? You know, maybe is that why they're giving them up? I don't know. But I know there's another one where it was like an all black box, and I've seen one of those. And I think I could be wrong, folks. I don't remember a lot of the Beatles stuff like I used to, and I just don't. I barely, and my favorite band is The Who, and I forget stuff about The Who until somebody goes, "Hey, you know that?" And I'm going, "Oh yeah, I do know that." But anyway, I think that one that I'm talking about was might have been a mono one. I don't remember, but I know that I love this box set because I like the way the records, the LP sound on it. So, and then this went on sale on one of these deep discounts, and I got a mono version of it on CD, Revolver. But yeah, deep discounts had these marked down for $50 plus shipping, and I said I didn't jump on getting the vinyl. So I went for this, and they sound really, really good. Every once in a while, you know, you're getting in that, when you get into that really Beatles groove mood, you just start playing them. And I remember just starting from Help and going all the way on for a few days of listening to that. So I'll probably do that here recently. Now, where does Revolver lie? Like I said, number 2 is Let It Be. Revolver will most likely now has dropped and has become my third favorite album. Now, for first with me as for the that are tied for first of my favorite Beatle records, it's changed. It's now Rubber Soul and Magical Mystery Tour, and I'm talking about the U.S. version. Because I've always liked that second side where you get Baby You're a Rich Man and Penny Lane, Strawberry Fields Forever. I'd like to get that album again, that Magical Mystery Tour, but with that orange Capitol label, because I remember my grandparents gave me that album for my birthday and it was the orange Capitol. Now I have a white album that is the orange Capitol label, and it sounds really, really good. So now back to Revolver. Again, folks, that's the way I'm going to probably get it. Most likely, it's the 2 CD set. I'll probably get it at Target, or if it's at Walmart. And if there's if they do, I don't know if they are. If they do if they do a mix of the album again with Giles Martin, then I'll get that. And I'm content like that, you know, because sometimes as I'm getting older, some days you just don't get enough time to hear some music. But overall, I am looking forward to this release. I think it's going to be a really good one, and I know we'll see a lot of videos and unboxings and unboxings and all kinds of cool videos out there. So I'm hoping after this one, I know it's just too early, but I'm hoping that one day they will do Rubber Soul. I would look forward to that one because I that has become like I said, it's tied for me. Rubber Soul, Magical Mystery Tour. Then number 2 for me is Let It Be. I love everything about Let It Be. I love the rawness of it, you know. And another thing, before I end this video, I have finally got to watch some of that Get Back. I finished one. Finally got to watch that Get Back project. And my favorite part is so far is when the Beatles move into the studio and they were together, and then they start really focusing on the songs, other songs. They rock out on some classics. Save the Last Dance for me. I love the way they do that. And I've been enjoying that because you see them working, you see them doing all kinds of different tempo changes and different ways of doing the songs. And I really enjoy that. The two Beatles that I really enjoy watching, it's not necessarily Paul. I love Paul, but it's John and George. And I like watching them because they're really focused. They want to make good music. They're great guitarists. I hardly ever see John Lennon looking where he's at on the fretboard. Hardly ever. I don't think I see it very much. Just like he just knows where to be at all times. I love the part where he's playing the slide guitar on For Your Blue, one of my favorite George Harrison songs of all time, as well as I Mean Mine. I've always thought, and I saw it early on, and I heard it early on, that George could write some songs. You know, like Don't Bother Me. That's a classic rock song. And when I heard that song as a kid, I said, yeah, he could write songs. And then as the years went by, they let him put more songs on the records, which I think is really, really cool. But anyway, those are some of my thoughts. I know went here, there, and everywhere. Get it? Here, there, and everywhere. But anyway, appreciate y'all very much. Thank y'all for the support. And I'll see you on my next video. So thumbs up. I know we're out there. We're waiting for that Revolver. And I think it's going to be another good one. But anyway, take care, everybody.